In this example, we're going to use the diagram to answer the questions. And it says in parentheses, AB represents the event that A happens and then B happens. So AB is an AND statement, A and B. All right, so in this first question, it says find the probability that A happens and then B happens. So we're just going to follow the trail down the tree through the branches, and we're going to find the probability of each one of these. So the probability of A happening is 0.34, and then the probability of B happening is 0.27. So when I multiply those together, because remember A and B, those AND statements means to multiply. So when I take 0.34 times 0.27, that's going to give me 0.0918. Now we're going to do the same thing for the probability of D and F. I'm going to follow it down. There's D and then there's F. So I'm going to take 0.66 times 0.35. Now, when I multiply those together, I'm going to get 0.231. In part C, it says we're going to find the probability that G happens given that D has happened. So in this case, when we have a conditional statement, we're not looking at the entire chart. We're just looking at one piece of the chart. We're looking at the probability that G happens, knowing that D has already happened. So if I followed this down, here's D, and then here's G. So the probability that G has happened, knowing that it has come down this direction, following through G first, that is going to be 0.53. With the conditionals, we're only looking at that part of the graph. So part D says find the probability that C happens given that A has happened first. So I'm going to follow A. A has happened first, and then I'm going to find the probability of C happening given A has already happened. So that's going to be 0.73. Now, for part E, we're going to find the probability of A and C or D and E. Now, AC means, according to this example, A has happened and C has happened. So we're going to follow down the chart, and we're going to find A times C. So that's 0.34 times 0.73. That's my probability of AC, but then we also want to find the OR statement with the D and the E. And remember, OR means to add, so I'm going to take and find the probability of AC and then DE and add them together. So DE, if I come down this way, is 0.66 times 0.12. Now, when I work all that out on the calculator, we're going to get 0.3274. Now, we're going to do the same thing for this one. We're just going to follow a different path because it's asking us for different events. So we're going to find the probability of DF. So here's D, here's F. So I'm going to take 0.66 times 0.35. And then I'm going to add it to the probability of DG. So coming down, I'm going to do D and then G, so that's 0.66. Whoops, it's hard to write with a mouse. Let's see. 0.66 and then times 0.53. Okay, now when we put all that in the calculator, we should get 0.5808.